Hello everybody, it is Sunday the 15th of December. I have not made a video in a while because I had no internet. The big storm that was here Saturday a week ago took out the pole right in front of my house, and I have people out there finally working on this a week later, and hopefully we have it up and running again by this evening and I will be able to post this video. High time that they came, because I had something eating at me for a week now. Because the last thing I watched before everything plunged into darkness here for a week was the then latest dot connector video from David Icke. And it has been eating at me ever since. He was talking about religion, Christianity, the apparently artificial matrix that we're in, the simulation that we're in, and the false creator gods. And I really want to pick this apart, what he was talking about. And I want to talk in the end about what he's actually saying, and where that information actually coming from, and with what intention was the knowledge given. What does it serve? I really want us to think about that. Anyway, so, first of all, religion and the deluded Christians. Yes, I actually fully on board with him there. You know, when he said, oh, you think, you're believing on this loving God, that is all loving kindness and compassion. And how would such a God create a shit show like this that we have in the earth now? And yes, I'm with them there. They are deluded. What they believe on is not a loving, benevolent entity, but it is the Gnostic demiurge, and it is evil. And that is where David then saw the great bit of enlightenment, the false creator God. The falsehood being that he is portraying himself as good, or has been taught as good, when in fact he's evil. And that is actually not the falsehood in the false creator God. Well, I want to talk about that first, and I want to talk about the code and this supposedly artificial matrix that we're in. And in the end, what should all of this serve? Where is this taking us? This line of thought. Anyway, let's start with the false creator God and the true falseness in it. And then we have to really go back to the old mystery schools, to the Gnostics and other forms of knowledge that were there at the time, versus Christianity at the time, when it came into being. And what was false, or actually downright insane to the old thinking, was the idea that there is one being, and that is something on the level of being, that is the source of everything. So there you have Yaldabaoth, the demiurge, saying, I am the only God, and I am the creator of all there is. And that was false to all the other belief systems at that time. In fact, it was pure insane to them. And then to them, the Christians, those that believed on the one creator being as the only truth, to the Christians were every bit as insane as the being that they were believing on. Again, I would agree with that. So at that time, the belief systems that were there in the mystery schools, they did believe on a source, yes, something from which everything emanates. But I don't know where they put that, somewhere in the middle of the cosmos or something, I don't know. But they said that source was consciousness, but way beyond anything that we know. Or that this level of consciousness that we are at could absolutely not comprehend the source. Cannot know it, cannot understand it, will not know it. And even if the source itself then split itself up into the aeons, into its working aspects, so to speak, that will then create in pairs or in coming together to create, again, other levels of consciousness again. We probably can't even know them. So, but the Gnostics also believed that everything did contain a divine spark, and that we have a part in us that is divinity and that can create in a limited way, because we're only a limited part and we're only a limited consciousness, and we can only do according to what we know. Yeah? So that was their view. So the entire idea that there would be one being that declares itself to be the source when itself is on the level of being, that was pure insanity. And that was the falsehood. It was not whether it is good or bad or what others might go there now, male or female. Nothing to do with that. Just the idea that such a being could exist at all. To, as I said, to the old school thinking was pure insanity. And those that worshipped such a being were every bit as insane as the being that they worshipped. Anyway, so that is the falsehood. But in what David Icke is saying now, yeah, that this is an artificial matrix created by, let's say, the archons, the demiurge and his angels, the archons. In that he's actually endorsing that such a being exists. He's actually endorsing the falsehood, which was the falsehood, way back when. He's endorsing that now. I'll come to that in the end. Where's that coming from? But first of all, I want to talk now about the apparently the code. Where he said people have discovered a code or codes in this world, mathematical codes, which proves that this is not natural, and therefore it must be created by something, artificially created by something. So there we come to the artificial matrix, and of course going straight back to the archons and the demiurge as the source. Right. Now, first of all, I want to say that math, the existence of a mathematical code, math is only one way of looking at this reality, and it will see certain things according to what it is, math. It will see codes, it will see systems, stuff like that. It cannot see the entirety. You only have one witness, one observer, one way of perceiving what we're in, and one cannot see all. Yeah, you would need, again, you need several witnesses that look at a thing from different perspectives to see the whole from all sides, so to speak. So for math to be now the one that will bring us the only truth, no. To my mind, that does not work at all. Still, okay, the seeing codes, fine. So what has created these codes? And to me, I would say life. Life is the creator of codes. Life in this world. Now, if you look at this world, again, you're seeing lots of different, uncountable amounts of forms of life, or forms of consciousness, if you say everything is consciousness, on different levels of consciousness: mineral, vegetative, animal, man. But, well, not man anymore because we've lost the plot, but all the other levels, you can see the same intention in all the levels, and that is they want to live. They have a desire for life. They act in such a way that life is continuously sustained and continuously ongoing. They all do that. So, and that is then the sustaining of self, the individual part, the individual animal or the individual tree or whatever. But at the same time, the realization that one part cannot sustain itself. It can't. But that it needs to be in a network of others, in a web of life, in an ecosystem where all give and all receive, and then every part is being sustained in that system. Again, that is necessary for the sustaining of life. And every other level apart from man at the moment is working within that system. Now, to be fair, I don't think they have the wherewithal to do any different. But just because they can't do, or they don't have free will, we can actually see the truth in what they're doing, the underlying truth, the underlying reality in what they are doing. And that is exactly what they're doing. They are the will to live. They will do what will sustain their life, and yes, everything receives. There's no such thing as, oh, for myself I ask nothing. Not in this world. Everything asks for itself. It does. But everything takes as much as it needs without destroying everything else that it needs, absolutely needs, to sustain itself, without destroying the ecosystem. Without the whole system, the individual cannot exist. Now, and evolution in this world. Yeah, everything is trying to evolve, is changing, always changing in a way that it is best. Because that was what evolution is trying to do, to create the best form for life. And now again, the best form is not that which can rule over everything else, or that which can take everything for itself. The best form is that which will fit in most perfectly with everything else. That is the best form. And everything is trying to reach that point where it can perfectly fit into the web of life, to be sustained. Well, that's what I can see in this world. So then, if now math looks at what is in this world, and it sees a system, and it sees codes in that system, then I would say those codes have been created. The system has been created by life itself, and that is by all parts of life, all that have their being in this web of life, in their desire to have life and to be sustained, altogether created the codes. So the code was created by all, and the code was created by life itself, and it came into being. It is absolutely natural. It evolved in a natural way to create this place of balance and where everything is sustained. That is what created the code. Now, the false creator gods, the false ones, are the ones that will take credit for everything that is created. I am the one that created all. I am the only God. Yeah? And they create an inverted reality, and also the whole thing is a con job. I'm going to try and show you this here. It is a complete con job. But the inverted reality is now, if we say the code came into being by the workings of all created the code, where now we have the one being that says, I created the code, and the code is creating life. So either life created the code, all life created the code, or one created the code that is then creating all life. There's the inverted reality. I think it is inverted. I think that if there is a code there now, a visible system in this world now, then it was created by life and by all parts of it, in cooperating with each other. What created the code. So there's the inversion. And it is also a con job. Because what they do is they want to portray the image of themselves as we are the creators of all. Yeah? So, like conmen, they are going through the bins, they rummage through our rubbish bins of knowledge until they find something that will serve them to portray that image of themselves. They create an image for themselves. I am the Creator God. And if they find knowledge that will serve them, they will then portray themselves as the creators of that knowledge. And they don't even find the knowledge for themselves. That's the best bit. We do. We mine the gold for the gods. We find the knowledge that will serve the gods to portray themselves as the creators of all. So we find the knowledge of codes, and then that knowledge that the code exists will be used in such a way that it portrays a creator God out there that's the only one that has created this matrix. Whereas to my mind it was created by all that have their being in it. All have the ability to create some change within themselves, and they've done it in order to create a balanced place for all. So, but again, there is the false creator God, the one that says, I am the one, and that will use the knowledge to portray himself in that way. And that's a con job. And the only place really that they create that as a reality is in the mind of the people. Yeah? When we have become, I mean, as I said, it's inverted reality, and we are becoming increasingly inverted in all that we are saying. Everything that was once known is now turned on its head. Yeah? So, you have to go into the darkness to find the light, because the light is in the darkness. You have to do away with all knowledge in order to have knowledge. Life is in death. Everything we knew to be real through all our, through the input of all our senses that we have, we knew this as a reality. That's now an illusion. What we don't know is the only reality. And as I said, what was created, what is all, is now one. All is one. Everything is inverted. Our whole thinking is completely upside down and back to front. And really, as I say, right now, humanity has got a death wish. It really has. Whereas all of creation might go that way, it wants to have life, and humanity is coming the complete different direction with a death wish, which creates tribulation. We have two different forces, us against nature. But if you go by the old stories of the archons, that they have no creative spark, I don't know if there's something that can exist that does not have the creative spark. They just don't know it, or they're not aware of it, or they found some other way of doing it. I don't know. I think they may have had it and lost it. We are about to lose ours. But anyway, it said they have no creative spark. and they hate those that do, and they want to destroy those that do. So they want to destroy humanity. And in hating ourselves and in hating this world and becoming completely self-destructive, we've actually become, first of all, become in complete agreement with them, and secondly, we're doing the works for them. They don't have to destroy it. We're becoming that deluded that we're doing it ourselves. We're doing it for them in the service of God. It is the will of God that we shall be destroyed. Let's come into full agreement and do it. Anyway. But I want to come back to David Icke now, because in what he is saying, as I said, to the Gnostics and to the old mystery schools and the old thinking, the idea that one would have the creative power to create all, or have even the entire source in him, that idea was completely insane. Yeah, no part contains all. Every part has got a spark, but every part is limited in what it can do. So, yeah, but David Icke now goes around and saying there is a creator God. The demiurge has got the power to create a matrix. He is a creator God, and the only false bit is only whether they're good or bad, or as I said, many come now male or female. That is the false bit. But the fact that he exists is a reality. That's what he's saying. That's what David Icke is saying, that the demiurge and the archons are a reality, and they are creative beings, and they are creative in that they're writing codes and stuff like that, and they can create realities. So again, the only place they can create a reality is in your mind, in the mind of the people. It has become a reality in our mind, and we are actually living detached from the real reality in this world, and the real truth. Yeah, we've gone up toward heaven, and we've detached from the knowledge of this world, which was the real truth. So, yeah, what will all of this serve? And David Icke was in Belfast a while ago, and I was there. And I was a promotional tour for his book, The Dream, I think it was. And after his presentation, we all were given a piece of paper to write down a question, and he would answer some of them. And I did write down a question, I never put it in the box. But I want to ask that question now. Because David was always talking about, what happened to him in Peru, when he said he got his head blown off. Or he got this massive download of knowledge poured into him. I'd say the shit of the gods. But, what I wanted to ask him that day was, have you ever wondered what the source is that knowledge is coming from, and with what intention it is being given? What should that knowledge create in this world? And Jesus said, you know them by their fruit. You know them by the outcome. You know them by what they create, or what their knowledge creates that is given. And again, what it is creating at the moment is David Icke going around saying the demiurge is a creator God. He can create. He has created the code. He has created an artificial matrix. He has created this world. And that is what the knowledge serves at the moment. It's been being guided to that point where he's saying that. And again, that was the falsehood that all the other ways of thinking way back when disputed. That it is not truth. He is not truthfully a creator God. He hasn't got a creative spark. He's just a con man, a liar. The only place, as I said, it can create a reality is inside of our heads. And only if we let it in as a truth. And we detach from what is actually the truth, which is the natural world, which is this world. And as I said, sooner or later we will become insane enough to destroy ourselves, which was the point from the start. Yeah, I would like to ask David Icke that question. Where do you think that information came from? Who's giving you that information, and what does it create? And again, it's going into the false perception of what we are and what we're in. The iconic perception of it all, not the truth of this world. Anyway, here folks, I leave it at that for today, and I talk to you again soon. Bye.